If you like money, stability, and being paid highly for your brain, but don't want to be a lawyer or a doctor, you need to know what an actuary is. Most people have never met one, but actuaries quietly run the financial world. So what is an actuary? An actuary is a professional who uses math, statistics, and business judgment to manage risk. In simple terms, actuaries answer questions for companies like, how likely is this to happen? And if it does happen, how much money do I need to set aside? Mostly known for their work in insurance, but oftentimes can be seen in industries like finance, working with pensions, consulting, healthcare, and even tech. But what is it that actuaries actually do? Day to day, actuaries analyze data, build models, price products, and explain results to decision makers. The job is not all about math. Communication is a huge aspect. Being able to communicate results to a non-technical audience is 90% of the battle of being an actuary. You're translating numbers into business decisions and complicated logic into a story that everyone can understand. One of the most commonly asked questions is, do I need to be a math genius to be an actuary? And I think you will be surprised with the answer. You don't need to be a math genius. There are going to be many obstacles during this career path. What you really need is to be logical, disciplined, willing to study, and have extreme perseverance. Most of the math will be learned through practice, not through talent. Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that we can have any level of education? Most likely not. You do need to have some sort of understanding of math, and math is a heavy component of the degree. Most actuaries major in actuarial science, math, statistics, finance, economics, or something STEM related. If you didn't major in one of these things, I don't want you to be discouraged, because something that is really cool about the profession is that you don't actually have to major in any of those things to become an actuary. What is most important in the actuarial field is to pass exams and getting experience in the workforce. And yes, this also means that you don't need a master's degree either.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
How do actuarial exams work? Whew. I'm gonna take a deep breath for this one, because guys, these exams are no joke. Actuaries will take a series of exams while working full-time and or being in school. You can start taking exams whenever. You could be 3 years old and start taking exams. You could be 60 years old and start taking exams. You could be an art major and take exams, or you could be a finance major and take exams. Taking exams is fully up to you, and you can do it at your own pace, technically, right? But to be able to get into the field, most employers do expect that you have about 2 exams passed before you graduate with your undergrad degree. And then the expectation would be that you continue to study for the rest of your exams while you're fully employed. 2 major pathways that most actuaries take, which is either going the SOA route, Society of Actuaries, or the CAS, the Casualty Actuarial Society. The difference between the two are simply what type of line of business that you're going into. If you're going into life insurance, health insurance, you'd be going down the SOA route. If you're going into P&C insurance, which is property and casualty, you would be taking the CAS exams. Both routes have approximately 10 exams. They take about 100 hours of study time for each hour of the exam, for each exam. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of study time, and it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a whole bunch of studying. But the thing that sets this profession apart from any other profession is that your company, 9 times out of 10, I would bet to say 10 times out of 10, your company will pay for your study material, they will give you paid time off to study, and they will pay for the exams up to a certain amount of attempts. For me personally, my company pays for up to 3 attempts, meaning if the first attempt I take, I don't pass it, they give me another one. I take that one, I don't pass it. The next time I do have to pay, but if I pass it, I receive money back. So you're getting paid a full-time salary, and they're paying for your study material, giving you paid time off to study, and paying for the exams. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. But another huge benefit is that when you pass your exam, you get an automatic raise every time. And some companies will even give you a bonus on top of that, depending on if you pass it in your first attempt or not. These exams have pretty low pass rates, so employers are expecting that it might take you multiple times to take the exam, which is why there are incentives if you pass it on the first round. And if you don't, guess what? Somebody else didn't pass it either. And it's completely normal in this profession to not pass exams. But the thing that is the most important is that you keep going. To top it off, most actuaries that I know have gone to school with full rides, no student loan debt. So if we're talking about building generational wealth and we're talking about having low debt, having high income, and investing in ourselves, this profession can literally send you to the moon. To a certain extent, your career is in your hands. If you can pass exams, you can get a job. And if you can continue to pass exams, you're gonna automatically get a raise. So there's nothing that they can say or do about that. It doesn't matter how you're performing on your job. It doesn't matter the color of your skin, your background, your how long you've been at the company, nothing. All of those things go out the window with this profession. How much do actuaries make? Entry-level actuaries will typically make anywhere from $70,000 a year to $85,000 a year starting out. I know multiple people who actually started at even higher than this. And so these are just average numbers for you. Once you get to the middle of your career, actuaries are typically making anywhere between $120,000 to $160,000. And let me tell you, that is not the cap. Once you start getting to levels like chief actuary, VP, SVP, CFO, the sky is the limit. Actually, I know of an actuary who's now the CEO of an insurance company. So actuaries have extreme room for growth in their career, and your earning potential is unlimited. However far you want to go is typically how far you can take it. And either way, you're going to be making at least a decent income while doing it. How is the work-life balance? Compared to many high-earning jobs, actuaries tend to have a greater work-life balance. And in fact, when I was looking up professions, this was one of the biggest selling points for me. I believe actuaries were ranked at the time number 5 least stressful jobs to have in the country. And that said a lot to me. I didn't completely understand what the profession was, but I knew that there was something going on here. Most actuarial roles work 40 to 45 hours a week, with a lot of roles being remote. I currently work from home, and I have since I've graduated. So 2.5 years straight out of college, I work from home. Most of my peers or friends are at least hybrid, and if they are hybrid, they really don't go into the office that much. Most actuaries do not need to be face-to-face to deliver value. I typically don't even work with people who are in my same area. Your presence in the office isn't always needed as much. Now, if you're in a role like consulting, that's going to be completely different. You know, one size does not fit all when it comes to actuaries, because there's so many different things that you can be doing and so many different avenues and variations of the job. But as a whole, most actuaries are able to do whatever they need to do from home, and most of the companies see that and value that and will allow their actuaries to work from home. Actuaries consistently rank among the lowest for unemployment rates. Why? Because companies have to manage risk in good economies and bad ones. The current unemployment rate for an actuary is as little as 0 to 1%. And the profession is projected to grow 22% from 2024 to 2034. So there is huge room for growth, and the profession is not going anywhere. The question of the last 3 years is, will AI take my job? And the short answer for actuaries is no. But what it will do is help to make them more efficient. AI will be used to help with calculations, automating processes, helping with recurring data. But actuarial judgment is always going to be valued and is one of the highest currencies that an actuary has. AI will change the tools, but not the profession. Being able to use that judgment, look at different regulations as they're changing, and communicate the story is why actuaries are here as a profession. Actuarial science is for you if you're looking for stability, strong pay, intellectual challenges, and long-term growth without grad school. It's not for everyone, but for the right person, it is a hidden gem. If you want a deeper breakdown on exams, a day in the life, how to get started, comment actuary down below and subscribe to Glowing Together.